Hey guys, Damian here. I know we've already gotten into CQB fundamentals, basic 5-step, and types of rooms. Today we're going to talk about some basic tactics on the whiteboard here, just because you don't need a house necessarily to go over tactics. We will get you some videos in a house and in a tape house though. But just as far as on the whiteboard, going over some tactics. So you see here what type of room we have. We have a corner fed room. We will have one man here. We'll just do a 2-man clear for this. 2 men, right? So at this point, there's 2 different ways we can attack this room. Muzzle's oriented this way. One, they can just directly flow into the room, right? Meaning they're both gonna button hook in. This guy will follow behind, button hook straight in as well. So your dominant position would look something like 1 man here, 2 man here. You have fields of fire, fields of fire. Now, some people may be wondering why we didn't put the 2-man on the opposite wall, right? Because some people teach the 1 man goes left, 2 man goes right, or vice versa. They're always on opposite walls. Now, all right, we'll play the game. This guy's here, cuts the sector of fire, and you may say, okay, well, these guys can safely both affect a target and they're not in the way of each other. However, imagine now we have another room here, right? Maybe it's even, center fed room. Now, if someone comes out of here, the first guy who is in danger is this gentleman in the fatal funnel, right? So we don't want him standing there. The idea that everybody goes, one guy goes left, one guy goes right is great, but it's not something that you need to live and die by. Put yourself in the most advantageous position, get to safety, right? Because CQB is already inherently dangerous, as we've touched on before. So right here would be good points of domination. Another good alternative to this for your point of domination could even be 1 man here and 2 men right here, right? Who's saying that you can't do that? Really, what's going to dictate that is your mission, your manpower, your environment. Like I said, if you come in here and there's tons of furniture inside that immediate area in the threshold and right along this wall, maybe it'll be a little different. Now, if we want to be a little more deliberate about our tactics and we're not, rushing it, doing this thing expediently, another really good way to approach this is for that 1 man to say, hey, I have an open door in front of me. It appears that it's a corner fed room. However, I'm gonna go ahead and roll the door. So now he's gonna maintain that muzzle awareness this way, and he's gonna move to this side of the door where his final point before entry will be here. Now, along the way, his muzzle has been oriented in the doorway to make sure he's safe. So here, he had this sector cleared. Now he has this sector cleared. Now he has this sector cleared. Now he has this sector cleared, right? Just by moving over there, and our 1 man flows forward, or our 2 man rather, he flows forward into that 1 man position. And now the only dead space remaining in this room is this corner, right? Obviously makes it a lot safer. So if you're not rushing in because you know that, there's maybe a hostage recovery and something you want to do a little more deliberately, it's a really good way to approach the room because you've cleared out 90% of the room, and then they both, whichever one is going to cross into the room, because there's no real 1-2 man at this point. He's going to cross the room. This man will button hook into the room. Now we're moving into the room. It's important to know that you have your commands, you're ready, your move, right? So if I have my rifle and my rifle's up and I say ready, that's me telling him I am ready to make entry. The man on the opposite side of the room is going to say move. At that point, he is going to lift his muzzle for a short period of time or drop his muzzle, whichever he trains more or whichever is more advantageous in the situation. And when he says move and drops that muzzle or lifts that muzzle, at that point, we are going to, that is his execution command, and he is going to make entry. And then when he makes entry, this guy will then flow in immediately on his back, right? So ready move is going to be our communication at this point. So that is how you attack a corner fed room. Now we will talk about a center fed room. which is gonna be very similar. So you have your 1 man, you have your 2 man, and the 1 man's gonna call out what he has. Hey, I have an open doorway left. I don't have much depth, right? But he can, from here, already see this, and maybe let's just say this, right? So he's already cleared out a piece. Now the 2 man's gonna say, all right, ready. He's gonna give him the squeeze and be like, yo, dude, I'm good. Like, let's freaking do this. 1 man can at this point decide like, hey, we're going in, or 2, like, I'm gonna roll it. Or if the 1 man is frozen, the 2 man's playing quarterback here. 2 man can be like, dude, go ahead and roll the door. So he says that, perfect, roll the door. Boom. Again, same concept as that last room, that corner fed. Now this guy has effectively cleared all of this space, leaving the only dead space remaining being these 2 corners. So, dead space, dead space. We give our new positions before entry. You could say almost like a dominant position outside of the threshold would be here and here. Boom, leaving this being his new sector, and his new sector is this right here. These guys both have barricades. Obviously my circles aren't perfect, but they have a barricade outside the door and they're not exposing themselves. At this point, they're gonna do that same thing, ready, move. They can even say crisscross, ready, move, or button hook, ready, move. That way he's letting them know, whoever initiates that ready is saying crisscross, ready. So now the 2 man knows like, hey, that dude's crisscrossing. Or button hook, ready, and then they're gonna initiate, okay, move, drops muzzle, goes. However, just because someone says button hook or crisscross, in the moment they may space and do something different. It's important to know that in this situation, the 1 man's always right, like we talked about in the fundamentals until the debrief, and then you guys can talk about it. So if they come in and they do their crisscross, ready, move, it would look like this guy entering this way. And so the moment that he crosses the threshold, his rifle's in this corner, it's clear. Now simultaneously, the other man, who's now the 2 man, is gonna have his muzzle breaking the threshold as soon as possible to provide that 5.56 protection, right? Body armor and 5.56, just rolling his back. What I mean by that is you always protect your buddy, right? We talked about that in our fundamentals. So the types of protection are 5.56, body armor, and just normal barricades, things like that. And so it's important to note that when my plates, my body armor are providing him protection, now the bullet would have to pass through me, my body armor, myself, and then get into him, right? So that's kind of a grotesque thought, but it's important to know that that's how CQB works. So at this point, all this dead space is no longer dead space. This has become clear. This has become clear. Now we just have to establish our dominant positions, wherever that may be, have our sectors of fire, and then again, this guy could go all the way here if he thinks that this is where his dominant position needs to be. But remember, there's gonna be furniture, there's gonna be all kinds of things in this room. There is nothing saying that his dominant position can't be on the short wall as well, holding here. And then now they come up with their plan. So maybe there was furniture here, and furniture here, right? So this guy's not gonna run 75% of the long wall because it really exposes him. So now they can come up with their plan. Hey, I have dead space in front of me. Hey, I have dead space to my right. What are we gonna do? So it's really important. Maybe it's just, opposing danger is like this, and they can discuss it. All right, hey, I have dead space right. Oh, I have dead space left. Ready, move. Just like we're moving into that, into the room initially. So now this guy would move this way. This guy would move this way. And they'd end up either popping this barricade or running the rabbit, meaning they go all the way to the wall together. But that's something they're gonna talk about. And again, it provides body armor protection and 5.56, right? 5.56 meaning the rifle they have, or 9mm protection, whatever you're shooting with, that is another layer of protection. They've both cleared out this room, right? So that's a good example of a center fed room being cleared. And then we have one more type of room that is most important when there's a door. And we will discuss why. So far I haven't been drawing anything with a door. However, say for example, we have this short wall room here, and there is a door here, right? So it's still an open door, We have our guys stacking outside of it. You know, 1-man, 2-man, doesn't matter the color, because remember, you should be able to alternate between your positions at all times. So this guy's gonna call, hey, I got an open door left, because even though it's not all the way open, it is still open. So now he's gonna go ahead and roll the door, because that's what we've determined works best when we're doing these deliberate methods of clearing. So he's looking, boom. Now the difference is, instead of having most of that room cleared, really what he has been able to see is this, right? Because he doesn't want to kick that door or hit that door on the way while he's moving. So now this guy who was the 2-man can become a 1-man, or however they decided to kind of cut that pie and discuss it between themselves. Right, now he's orienting here. One of these guys has a lot more depth into the room, so it's more than likely he's gonna say ready, he's gonna say move, he's gonna pick up his gun. This man's gonna make entry here because he doesn't have anything in his way. So he's gonna come this way, boom. He's gonna hit that corner, and then he's gonna start walking to his dominant position, wherever he thinks it is. Now our purple guy, 2-man, is gonna start entering. He's gonna have to hit that door, and what's gonna happen is when he hits that door is now gonna swing, because it's a door, and it's gonna close and create dead space. Let me use a different marker. So it's gonna close and create dead space here. So our 2-man is gonna pin this door, just in case there's enough room for someone to be back there or something to be back there. It is space that's unknown, you don't wanna leave your back to it. So now he's gonna be able to cover this while his back's to the door, and he's gonna announce, hey man, I got a dead check. And maybe this guy stopped here, or maybe he did run the long wall, right? Doesn't really matter. And people will argue that until they die, but that's more of a safety thing when you go to schools. It's not really a tactics driven thing. So say for example, he does the old school thing here, that reduces his field of fire to this, or probably a little bit more, sorry. Probably this right here. This guy's field of fire is gonna be somewhere over here to the wall. Right, so now he's gonna discuss, hey man, I got a door check, right? I need someone to check this door because I'm not sure if there's anything back there. So they're gonna talk about it, okay, door swings outward or whatever, they're gonna discuss it. He's gonna get that knob, he's gonna grab that knob, and this guy, now that we've cleared the room, everything's clear, he's just gonna walk over here, boom. This allows him, if he has to, he can react to this open doorway, right, and shoot out to the hallway if he had to. Now when this guy, the purple man, pulls the door and it opens, it will end up looking like this. So the doorway will end up open. Sorry, I should have used the red marker. The doorway will end up open. Purple guy will be, because he slung the door open, he's gonna be back over here, also trying to put his muzzle in there as quick as possible. This guy, our green guy, cleared it the minute it opened, or if there was someone there, he told them to get on the ground or told them, like, you're dead with bullets. So just important to understand that's how dead checks work, or door checks work. We'll go over door checks, dead checks, occupancy control in a later module. I just wanted to show you because that really is the biggest difference on a short wall room. Other than that, there are no major differences. And I'm not going to talk about hallway movement or anything today. It's just important to note that a lot of people get really caught up in, I need to go left because he went right, or I need to be on the short wall because, you know, that's how everybody teaches it, or I need to be on the long wall because that's how everybody teaches it. That's not necessarily true, because again, if, let's say for example, we can't see in this because there's a door. There's a door here, right, with our knob, and we have 1 man, 2 man. We have to do our door accessibility, which we haven't gone over yet, but I will. That'll be the next video, door accessibility. Now, when they get into this, they're gonna be moving quickly, and say, for example, there was a big couch here, right, a big couch. And then here, there was a cabinet. And then right here is some kind of stairwell or something, all right? When this door opens, when the door opens and they make entry, now we have, this guy can go this way very easily, right? He can end up, boom. All right, great. When this guy comes in, this green guy, he's gonna come in and he's gonna be like, oh, couch, oh, bookcase, or whatever that piece of furniture is. And now all of a sudden he's all the way over here. Or he can come in, once the door opens, this guy's gone in, there's so much going on over here, he could just tuck back over here, and there's nothing saying that he can't end up over here. Because now all your guns are in the fight, you know? It may not be the prettiest thing in the world, but a square is a square at the end of the day, and tactics need to be fluid, and that will bring us to initiative-based tactics, and here, or IBT. And initiative-based tactics are enclosure clearing tactics that are driven by the actions and initiatives of the individual, right? So when you guys first start doing this stuff, the whole left, right will really make the most sense. And that's why at any CQB course, we always start off with a big, giant, empty, open-doored room and show you, hey, one goes left, one goes right. That way it kind of ends up like this almost every time, just to get you used to entering a room with a friend and saying clear and saying, hey, you know, this room's done. But after you've done this for a long time, you get really, really used to that. All of a sudden we throw, you know, a piece of furniture in here. Sorry, a piece of furniture in here. And now some people will freeze, you know, some people get right here and they will completely freeze. But just understand that what you're given when you're told everybody goes left and then right and then left and then right, that's just a baseline to get you used to entering a room. And once you've been on a team or once you've been to advanced CQB courses, that's not necessarily the case, unless it's a safety concern and they just don't trust you as a student body. But one thing that we do after our 101 course for CQB, we get into initiative-based tactics really hard. We harp on it in the beginning, but our level 2 and level 3 course are all IBT, and you probably won't be able to go left, right every single time. But that's all I have for you today. If I missed anything or you think I missed anything, please drop it down below. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We look forward to talking to you guys here in the future.